हरि ओम। ओम श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम श्री हिरण्यगर्भाय नमः। ओम श्री महाविष्णवे नमः। ओम श्री महादेवाय नमः। ओम श्री महादुर्गायै नमः। ओम श्री राम रामाय नमः। ओम श्री सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। ओम गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। भवानी शङ्करौ वन्दे श्रद्धाविश्वासरूपिणौ याभ्यां विना न पश्यन्ति सिद्धाः स्वान्तस्तमीश्वरम्। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीतायाः पतये नमः। बुद्धिर्बलं यशोधैर्यं निर्भयत्वमरोगता अजाड्यं वाक्पटुत्वं च हनुमत्स्मरणात् भवेत्। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ओम नमः शिवाय 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 ओम नमः शिवाय। नमः पार्वती पतये हर हर महादेव। हरि ओम हरि ओम। So Bhagwan teaches Arjuna the path of Karma Yoga, which purifies our mind. Thereafter we have to gain self-knowledge through our teacher, and renounce all actions and meditate. Bhagavan says in the 6th chapter that prashantatma vigatabhihi brahmachari vrate stitaha manas sayyamya macchittaha yukta asita matparaha, that keep making the mind absolutely calm and peaceful, free from all fear, having total dedication and faith in the teacher. One should sit with the mind restrained and considering Ishvara as the supreme. Place the mind in that Ishvara. So ultimately we have to place our mind in Ishvara. We have to recognize Ishvara as our own self. In the 12th chapter also Bhagavan says, Mayyeva mana adatsva Mayi buddhim niveshaya nivashishyasi mayyeva ata urdhvam na samshayaha, that you place your mind in me, place your intellect in me, and you will attain me. There is no doubt. So in the 6th chapter, in the concluding verse also, Bhagavan says that he is a great yogi who has placed his mind in me. Yoginam api sarvesham madgate nantaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yo mam same yukta tamo mataha. So through meditation we have to first recognize our own self, which is the sakshi of our body, mind, intellect, and understand that self as one with Paramatma, and place our mind in that Paramatma. So, Bhagavan had revealed the nature of that Atma in the 2nd chapter and mentioned it in following chapters also. But the nature of that Paramatma was not revealed. So here in this 7th chapter, Bhagavan reveals the nature of that Supreme Paramatma in whom we have to place our mind, to whom we have to surrender. So that Paramatma or Brahma or Ishvara, his nature is revealed in this 7th chapter. So let us begin. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. अथ सप्तमोऽध्यायः श्रीभगवानुवाच मय्यासक्तमनः पार्थ योगं युञ्जन्मदाश्रयः असंशयं समग्रं मां यथा ज्ञास्यसि तच्छृणु. Bhagavan says, Shri Bhagavan so that Sakshat Ishvara himself has taken avatar as Shri Krishna. So Bhagavan, Krishna is Sakshat, that Bhagavan itself, himself. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. So Bhagavan is revealing his own identity here. He says, Shri Bhagavan Vacha, ki he Partha, Maya Sakta Mana, placing your being attached to me, Yogam Yunjan, meditating on me, Madashrayaha, totally dedicated to me, taking support only of me, Asamshayam Samagram Mam Nyasyasi, knowing me completely, samagram and asamshayam, without any doubt. How you can know me completely and without any doubt? That you listen from me. So how we can know Bhagavan completely, free from all doubts? Bhagavan will reveal that knowledge to us. But there are certain conditions which Bhagavan has said here, कि मय्या सक्त मना, make your mind attached to me. Be attached to me completely. Once we come to understand the nature of Ishvara, we have to make our mind more and more attached to that Ishvara alone. See, we are attached to so many things and people in this world. The more we think about them, the more we get attached to them. In the second chapter also Bhagavan has said, कि ध्यायतो विषयांस पुंसः संगस्तेषु उपजायते, that when we meditate, when we contemplate on some objects, we get attached to those objects. So here Bhagavan says, you get attached to me, think about me, listen about me, meditate on me, dream about me, talk about me, worship me, serve me. Surrender all your actions to me, chant my name. So all this if we do, we will get more and more attached to Ishvara. So Maya Sakta Manaha, making your mind totally attached to me, and Yogam Yunjan, and meditating on me, focusing your attention on me, meditating on me. Madashrayaha, taking support of me. See, when we do some karma to get some result, we take support of that karma, or we take support of some upasana in order to get the result of upasana, or we take support of japa, or we take support of tapa to get the result of japa and tapa. But here, when we are meditating on Ishvara, we should renounce all other support and take Ishvara alone as our supreme support. One should totally dedicate and surrender to Ishvara and take his support alone. There is no other support required for us. No support of anything else. One should have that total surrender to that Ishvara. That's what is called Madashrayaha. Shankaracharya ji in his Bhashya he writes कि यो हि कश्चित् पुरुषार्थेन केनचित् अर्थे भवति स तत् साधनं कर्म अग्निहोत्रादि तपोदानं वा किंचित् आश्रयं प्रतिपद्यते. That when we, with a desire to gain some result and take the sadhana, then we take support of that sadhana. But here, ayantu yogi mam eva ashrayam pratipadyate hitva anyat sadhanantaram mai eva asakta mana bhavati. But when we are meditating on Ishvara, we don't require any other support. We just, with the our mind should be focused on Ishvara alone. No other support is required. So that is called Madashrayaha. So gaining this qualification, we can know Bhagavan completely and surrender to him completely. That knowledge Bhagavan will reveal to us. He will reveal his own identity. Bhagavan says, I will give you my knowledge. And how? Asamshayam samagram mam yathanyasya. Asamshayam, free from all doubts. See, knowledge should be free from all doubt. If we have some doubt, then that is not knowledge. In our knowledge, there should not be any doubt. There should be total, full, 100% conviction. And that conviction can happen only if the knowledge is gained through proper praman, through proper means. And also, that conviction will come after gaining that direct experience of that. So that is what Bhagavan is saying, that I will give you my knowledge, free from all doubts. with full conviction, you will have no doubt about it in your mind. So asamshayam. In the world also people talk, everyone talks about God, everyone talks about Ishvara, but we are not very clear about who is Ishvara. If some more questions are asked to us, we will not be able to reply. Our knowledge is not clear, not convincing. Deeply we may have our own doubts. So that is not proper knowledge. So Bhagavan says, asamshayam, free from all samshay, and samagram, mam, yatha, and we have to know Ishvara samagram, completely. See, when we say Ishvara, Ishvara is Nirguna, Nirakar also, and Ishvara alone is Sagun, Sakar. Sagun Nirakar, Sagun Sakar. Ishvara alone is existing in front of us in the form of this world, with all the sentient and insentient thing in this world. Everything is Ishvara. Ishvara's glories are infinite. Ishvara's name is glorious. Ishvara's dham is glorious. Ishvara's charitra is glorious. Ishvara's swarupa is glorious. So we have to know Ishvara in all his glories. Samagram. There are some people who understand Ishvara as only Nirguna, Nirgun Nirakar. So when they look at this world, they don't know how to reconcile. Then there are those who understand Ishvara only as Sagun Sakar. There are those who understand Ishvara only as his avatar. There are those who understand Ishvara only in one particular form. Some believe that Ishvara is only Shiva. Some think that Ishvara is only Vishnu. Some think Ishvara is only Ganesha. Some think Ishvara is the Vishwarupa. Some say no, Ishvara is Nirgun Nirakar. There's a beautiful story in Ramayana where Dharti Mata took the form of a cow when Ravan was born, and all the Rakshasas were creating a lot of havoc in the world. Prithvi took the form of a cow, and she approached the Devatas and told them that please protect me. The Devatas said, we cannot do anything. Let us go to Brahmaji. So they went to Brahmaji, and Brahmaji also said that I cannot do anything. The one who has created this whole world, who is my Lord also, my Master also, that Supreme Ishvara alone can do something. So when all these Devatas heard this, they started discussing and arguing among themselves where that Ishvara resides and what is the nature of that Ishvara. Some said he is there in Vaikuntha. Some said no, he is not in Vaikuntha. He is residing in Kshirasagar, the ocean of milk. Some said no, he is not there. He is in the heart of all beings. So like that, everyone was giving their own opinion about Ishvara. And Lord Shiva was there, and Lord Shiva told them that Ishvara is everywhere. Hari Vyapak Sarvatra Samana Premate Pragata Hoi Mai Jana. Ishvara is Vyapak Sarvatra Saman. When we have that real love, he manifests himself. So we have different concept ideas about Ishvara. Ishvara has to be known in all his glories, in all his beauty. So that's why Bhagavan says, I will tell you by which you will know me completely. Samagram. Asamshayam samagram. Yathat nyasyasi tashruno. That you listen from me. I will tell you. I will reveal this knowledge to you. So you listen to me carefully. So what knowledge Bhagavan wants to reveal? What is the greatness of this knowledge? That Bhagavan now says in the next verse, verse number 2. Jnanam teham savidjnanam idam vakshamya sheshatah yajñātvā neha bhūyonyat jñātavyam avashishyate. Bhagavan says, Hey Arjuna, I will reveal Jnanam, that supreme knowledge, and Te Aham Savidjnanam, and I will also reveal Vijnanam. Idam Vakshami Asheshataha, completely, without leaving anything behind, completely Asheshataha Vakshami. I will tell you knowledge as well as Vijnana. So what is this knowledge, Jnana and Vijnana? Shankaracharya ji, he writes in his commentary, Jnanam te tubhyam aham savidjnanam vijnana sahitam svanubhava sanyuktam. Knowledge is knowledge, what you call theoretical knowledge, and Vijnana is Anubhava, the experience of that. See, a knowledge becomes complete, the spiritual knowledge becomes complete when we gain direct experience of that knowledge. Otherwise, it remains only at the level of theory. Even in the field of science, we have the theory and we have the practicals also. So theoretically we should understand, and then we do the experiment and we get convinced and we gain the practical understanding of that knowledge also. Similarly here, Bhagavan says, I will not only reveal my identity, that you will understand me theoretically, completely, properly, but I will also tell you the means by which you will gain direct realization of me. You will experience me directly. It's like somebody telling us the theory about some some item or some dish which they have prepared. If they tell you in detail how to prepare it, so one gets a theoretical understanding of how to prepare it. But when you prepare and eat it, you get a direct experience of it. Similarly here Bhagavan says, you not only know me, but you also experience me. So that knowledge I will reveal to you completely. So jnanam teham savidjnanam idam vakshami asheshataha. And what is the greatness of this knowledge? He says, yat jnatva neha bhuyonyata jnatavyam avashishyate. Bhagavan says, having known this knowledge, there will remain nothing more to be known in this world. Having gained this knowledge, there will remain nothing more to be gained, nothing more to be known in this world. It's most amazing. See, in the world, we know a lot. There are people who know many things about the world. People do research and gain some doctorate also in different subjects. So we say that, oh, that person is very knowledgeable. He has done research on this subject and he knows a lot about it. But even after knowing a lot about one thing, there remains many more things to be known. The world is so vast that if you know one thing, even one thing we can't know completely. For example, if you want to know everything about water, it is so amazing. It is not just hydrogen or oxygen, but lots and lots of facets are there in water. Water expresses in different ways and has got so many hidden mysteries within. So even if we spend our entire life trying to know water, we will not be able to know it completely. But here Bhagavan is saying that I will give you that knowledge, having gained which there will remain nothing more to be known in this world. That means you will become all-knowing. Shankaracharya ji writes कि यद ज्ञात्वा यद ज्ञानम ज्ञात्वा न इह भूयः पुनः ज्ञातव्य पुरुषार्थ साधनम avashishyate. Having gained this knowledge, there will not remain anything more to be gained. Na avashesho bhavati iti mat tattvajño yah sa sarvajño bhavati. He says that one who knows Ishvara knows everything. One who knows the tattva of Ishvara will become all-knowing. See, let me explain this with an example. For example, ornaments are there. Lots and lots of different types of ornaments are there made from gold. Many ornaments are there made from gold. If you want to know only the name and form of that ornament and how to make the different ornaments, it is a vast subject. But if you know all the names, all the forms, but if you don't know gold, then you don't know the essence of these ornaments. But one who knows gold, that person knows all the ornaments in general. That person knows all the ornaments in general, that he knows that all the ornaments are made up of gold. So one who knows gold knows all the gold ornaments in general. That is called being Sarvajña. One who knows Ishvara, that person will know that Sarvam Khalvidam Brahma, that everything is Brahma alone. See, Brahma or Ishvara is the very cause of this world. Just like gold is the cause of all gold ornaments. Gold is the Upadan Karan, the material cause of all gold ornaments. Similarly, Ishvara or Brahma is the material cause of this entire world. He is not only the material cause, but he is also the efficient cause. Means one who has converted himself into this world. See, just as gold is the material cause for gold ornaments, but a goldsmith converts that gold into gold ornaments. Gold by itself doesn't become gold ornaments. So there should be some sentient person who converts that gold into gold ornaments. So that goldsmith is called the efficient cause, and the gold is the material cause. But in case of this world, that Brahma alone is the efficient cause and the material cause also. In Sanskrit is called Abhinna Nimitta Upadan Karan. Nimitta Karan means efficient cause. Upadan Karan is material cause. So Ishvara alone, Brahma alone is the material as well as the efficient cause of this world. So one who knows that Ishvara knows everything in general. Sarvajna, he becomes Sarvajna. About Ishvara it is said, Ishvara is Sarvajna and Sarvavita. Means Ishvara knows everything in general and everything in particular also. But a self-realized person knows everything in general but may not know everything in particular. In this world, we know few things in particular. We don't know everything in particular. But a self-realized person will know everything in general. That everything is Brahma. So, yad jnatva neha bhuyonyata jnatavyam avashishyate. Having known this, there will remain nothing more to be known. There's a very beautiful Upanishad, Mundaka Upanishad, in which the disciple approaches the teacher and he asks this question, कि कस्मिन्नो भगवो विज्ञाते सर्वमिदं विज्ञातं भवति. कि hey teacher, please tell me, knowing what everything will becomes known. So to that disciple, the teacher gives the knowledge of that Brahma, having known which everything becomes known. Again in Chandogya Upanishad there is story of Shvetaketu. Shvetaketu went to some Gurukul to study, and when he came back home, he was very proud that I have gained all knowledge. So his father asked him that, hey Shvetaketu, you are looking very proud. Have you gained that knowledge, having known which everything becomes known? So Shvetaketu was taken aback. He said, I have not gained this knowledge. And then he realized that even after staying in the ashram, he has not really gained any knowledge, proper knowledge. So he surrendered to his own father and requested him that you only teach me. So his father taught him this Brahma Vidya. The famous Mahavakya is there in the Chandogya Upanishad addressed to Shvetaketu. His father indicates the whole world as that Brahma and tells him, hey Shvetaketu, Tattvamasi, you are that Brahma. So with various examples, the father again and again teaches him and finally conveys to him that Tattvamasi. So having known that Brahma, everything becomes known. So this is the great knowledge Bhagavan says, I will reveal to you, hey Arjuna. And through Arjuna, Bhagavan is revealing this knowledge to all of us. See, there are billions of people in this world, but all are not interested in this. Only rare few, they gain this knowledge. That's what Bhagavan says now in the next verse. This knowledge is not very easy. It is not very common. It is very, very rare. He says, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschin mam vetti tattvataha. Bhagavan says कि मनुष्याणाम सहस्रेषु kaschit yatati siddhaye. Among thousands and thousands of human beings, billions of human beings, so many billions are there now in this whole world, human beings, because only a human being can follow this path of spirituality. We have to gain human birth. Among all the births, human birth is very rare and very difficult to attain. In Vivek Chudamani also it is said, Jantu nam narajanma durlabham. Among all the living beings, to be born as a human being is a very, very, very rare phenomena. And having become a human being, to follow finally this path is the most rare phenomena. Bhagavan says that many people are not interested in this at all. People are busy in artha and kama. We have these four purushartha, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Most of the world, or most of the human beings are busy in artha and kama, acquiring wealth and gaining pleasures in this world. That is the main agenda, not only of individuals, but you find its agenda of a family also. Even parents, they want their children to grow, get some job somewhere, earn money, have a good house, have a good family, and lead that type of life. Not only families, but societies also have this agenda. Not only societies, but our various countries and governments also, they have this agenda that we have to live in this world, acquiring wealth and gaining pleasure. Bas. Dharma is also not the aim and goal. They, governments and all, focus on what they call as law. Law may not be in tune with dharma, but we have our laws and all that follow the laws and do your work and acquire wealth and gain pleasures in this world. Only rare few walk the path of dharma. As I had said yesterday also, those who believe themselves to be jiva, those who believe that they were born before, they are born now, they will be born later. Those who believe that they are different from this gross physical body, they only understand the language of dharma. They only understand the language of pap and punya. They only have proper faith and shraddha in Ishvara. So they only have faith in the Shastras. And they alone follow this path of dharma. So the followers of the path of dharma itself is very rare. Very, very rare. And among those who are following this path of dharma, those who gain that enough vairagya and that jidnyasa, and among them those who follow the path of karma yoga, they are also very rare. And among karma yogis, those who purify their mind and gain their jidnyasa and approach a teacher and gain self-knowledge, they are very rare. One is, even when we have the jidnyasa to have go approach a teacher and to get a good teacher in life who will guide us properly, who is not interested in other things, not interested in fame, name, money, power, but who is sincerely interested in the welfare of the student and want to give this knowledge, proper knowledge to the student. Such teachers are also rare. And the teacher who is Shrotriya, one who has got proper understanding of the Shastras, are rare. So even if such rare thing happen and we meet and we gain this knowledge, thereafter to renounce all karma and to meditate on this self, that is also rare. And after meditating, to recognize this self, that Kshetrajna, that Purusha, the Sakshi Atma, to recognize that Sakshi Atma is even rare. And those who have recognized this Sakshi Atma, for them to understand this Atma as Paramatma is even rare. And then to meditate and gain abidance in that Paramatma is very, very rare. So Bhagavan is expressing that rare thing here. He says, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschit yatati siddhaye. Out of billions and billions of human beings, only rare few walk this path. And among those who walk this path, among those maybe thousands who walk this path, Bhagavan says, Yatatam api siddhanam. Even those who strive and become pure through following the right path of karma yoga, of upasana, of bhakti, of jnana, those who gain this purity and then meditate and come to know me, Bhagavan says, they are very, very rare. Yatatam api siddhanam kaschin mam vetti tattvataha. Only very, very rare few knows me tattvataha. Tattvataha means in essence. One who knows me in essence are very, 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 very rare. They are not. See, even in the in the history, if we just have to name those enlightened beings, they are very rare few. Luckily, in our beautiful country, Bharat Desha, many, many saints and sages were born in this country and who have walked this path and who have guided many, many seekers on this path. So we have lots and lots of saints who have achieved this ultimate goal. But all of them are in general very rare, not very, very common. Rare because the desire to walk this path itself doesn't come in everyone's mind. And if it comes, to get proper guidance, get proper teacher to guide us, and proper path to understand and walk it, is very rare. So Bhagavan says, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschin mam vetti tattvataha. My father, when I decided to join this and study Vedanta, my father also quoted this shloka saying that this is very rare. So if you have proper desire, it's very good, you can learn. So Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschin mam vetti tattvataha. So having created that enthusiasm in Arjuna's mind, you see, it's such a rare thing. And now I myself will reveal this to you, hey Arjuna. So, understand the greatness of this knowledge and listen to it attentively. So now in the following verses, Bhagwan reveals his identity. They are very important verses, so please pay attention and listen carefully. Okay? So fourth verse. Bhumirapo nalo vayuhu kham mano buddhirev cha ahankara iti yamme bhinna prakritirashtadha. Bhagwan says that this is my prakriti. He reveals his prakriti. See, in order to know Bhagwan, we can know him through his prakriti only, through his expression. See, suppose I know something. What I know is there within me. But if you want to know, you can know what I know only when I express it, only when I tell you, only when I express. Otherwise, that knowledge remains hidden in me. Similarly, Bhagwan is hidden. Bhagwan is beyond all names and forms. Bhagwan is Nirguna Nirakar. But Bhagwan, that same Bhagwan is expressing as this world. So through the world, we can know that Ishvara. World is a means. World is a support for us to know Ishvara. Just like the ornaments are there, through the ornaments, by studying the ornaments, we can know the gold. By studying and taking support of the effect, we can know the cause. So here the world is the expression of Ishvara. So knowing this world, we can know Ishvara. There is a very beautiful text, Brahma Sutra. Vedavyas ji has written Brahma Sutra. There are 555 sutras are there. Sutras means aphorisms, very small sentences, sometimes only one word. So through these 555 sutras, Vedavyasji conveys the knowledge given in the Upanishads very systematically, logically, rationally. He reveals that knowledge of the Upanishads. All the Upanishads, they reveal the knowledge of that Brahma and tells us our own identity with Brahma. So that Brahma Vidya is revealed in that Brahma Sutra. Therefore it's called Brahma Sutra. So in that Vedavyasji, in the second sutra itself, in the first sutra, Athato Brahma Jidnyasa Janmadyasya Yataha. So in the second sutra, Janmadyasya Yataha, Vedavyasji says, or in the first sutra he says, we should know that Brahma. Then in the second sutra he says that, what is that Brahma? He says Brahma is that from where the Janma Adi of this world has happened. The world has come into being from that Brahma. The world resides in Brahma and world merges back into Brahma. Knowing this world and knowing the connection of this world with Brahma, you will know that Brahma. In the Ramayana also, Tulsidas ji gives this example of word. He says, he does namaskar to Sita ji and Ramchandra ji. He says, Gira arath jalavichi sama kahiyat bhinna na bhinna bandhu Sita Ramapada jinahi parama priyakhinna. So he says that Sita ji and Ramchandra ji are like earth and word and the meaning of the word. If Sita ji is the meaning, is the word, then Ramchandra ji is the meaning of the word. As I said, that the meaning remains hidden. Only when we utter the word, we come to know the meaning. Like you are listening to my pravachan, what I understand, what I know is there within me. And what I know, I am revealing to you through my words. And when you listen to these words, you come to know what I know. Then even if the words are forgotten, that knowledge remains in you. And you can express it in some other words or in some other language also. You might be listening to me in English, but you can tell this to someone else, what you have understood in Hindi, in Marathi, in Gujarati, in other language also. Similarly, Ishvara is like that meaning, and the world is the word which Ishvara alone utters, so that we understand him, we know him. So Bhagavan says, Arjuna, know my Prakriti, which alone is expressing as this world. So Bhagavan's Prakriti, which is also called Maya, that Prakriti is not different from Ishvara. Bhagavan says that this is my Prakriti. Itiyam me binna prakritir ashtadha. This is Bhagavan's ashtadha Prakriti. Bhagavan has got twofold Prakriti. One is called Apara Prakriti and another is Para Prakriti. Apara Prakriti has got 8 limbs or 8 expressions. It's called Ashtadha. And Para Prakriti is there one. So here in this verse, Bhagavan reveals the Ashtadha Prakriti, Apara Prakriti. He says in this Apara Prakriti there are 8 parts. Bhumi, that is earth. Apaha, water. Analaha, fire. Vayu, air. Kham, akash. This 5, Bhinna Prakriti means subtle Prakriti, undifferentiated. These 5 are the 5 Tanmatras, they are called. Not the 5 elements which we experience, but even the cause of these 5 elements, the Tanmatras. These Tanmatras are very subtle. For example, the Akash Tanmatra has only the characteristic of sound. The Vayu Tanmatra has only the characteristic of touch. The Agni Tanmatra has only the characteristic of Rupa, form. The Jala Tanmatra has got characteristic only of rasa, and the Earth Tanmatra has only the characteristic of smell. So they are called Tanmatras. Tanmatra means that alone. They are not intermixed. Akash is alone. Akash is not mixed with Vayu, Jal, Prithvi or anything else. Vayu is alone. Fire is alone. They are not intermixed. So they are called Tanmatras. They are very subtle. We don't experience them directly. So these 5 Tanmatras are Bhagwan's Prakriti only, expressing as this 5. Plus Manaha, Buddhi and Ahankar. Here the word Manaha indicates the cause of that Mana, which is Ahankar. Then Buddhi indicates cause of Ahankar, that is Mahat Tattva. And Ahankar indicates the cause of this Ahankar, which is Avyaktam. Cause of Mahat Tattva is Avyaktam. So Avyakta, Mahat Tattva, Ahankar and Pancha Tanmatras. They are the Ashtadha Prakriti of Bhagwan. Again, Avyakta, Mahattattva, Ahankar and Pancha Tanmatras. They are the Apara Prakriti of Bhagwan. We'll study more about this. This is very interesting and have to be understood properly. And this Apara Prakriti of Bhagwan, through Apara Prakriti, Bhagwan alone expresses as this world. And through his Para Prakriti, Bhagwan alone expresses as the Jivas in this world. So the world with all the Jivas are expression of Bhagwan, but Bhagwan expresses as this world and Jiva through his Prakriti. So through Apara Prakriti, Bhagwan has become the world which we experience, and through Para Prakriti, Bhagwan has become all the Jivas who experience this world. See, just like in our dream, when we go to sleep, our mind itself becomes the world, and our mind itself becomes the one who is experiencing that world. So I, the dreamer, through the mind becomes the world, and through the mind becomes the experiencer of the world. That little fellow who is experiencing that, who becomes the dreamer. So I, through my mind, becomes the dream world, and I, through my mind, becomes the dreamer. In the same way, Bhagwan through his Prakriti has become the world, and Bhagwan through his Para Prakriti becomes the experiencer of this world, all the Jivas. So this, more about this is a very subtle topic, and more about this we will see in our next class. Tomorrow is Sunday, so tomorrow we will have a chutti, and the next class will be on Monday. So today I will give you some question to ponder and answer, and Monday we will meet and continue with this topic. Okay, this may seem very heavy, but it's very interesting, and once you understand this, then everything will become very clear. Therefore, I am saying again and again that this world is not mithya. This world is expression of Bhagwan. Bhagwan alone is expressing at this world through his Prakriti. So it will become very clear once we study this properly. So till then, you take care of yourself. Be safe, happy, peaceful, healthy, and we will meet again day after tomorrow. Hari Om. Shri Ram Jaya Ram Jaya Jaya Ram. 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 Jaya Jaya Ram. Jaya Jaya Ram. Bole Siyava Ramachandra Bhagwan ki Jai. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.